And welcome back to Open Your Eyes. We are moving into our first segment for the morning, and we've got representatives of the Y.W.C.A. in to tell us all about the donation of tablets to the Y's preschool. Stepping up that game. Now, in to tell us all about it, we've got Deanna Peyrefitte, who is the General Secretary at the Y.W.C.A. Belize. We've got Nicole Curette, I think I got it correctly there, who's a donor of tablets to the Y, and Sherri Gongara, a Belize Vice Counsel in Houston, Texas. Well, good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome.
Thank you.
I'm loving the colors. So let's talk about it. Let's jump on into it. First and foremost, I want to find out how big is it for you guys to be at home and making such prestigious donations. What is that like for you? How did the concept come around?
You want to take that?
Yeah, you take that. You take that, Sherri.
Well, I do serve as the Honorary Vice Counsel, and so part of my portfolio is tourism and trade, and to also foster donations and things of that sort. And one of my husband, who happens to be Belizean American, his cousin is a employee at Y.W.C.A.
Wow. She's a preschool teacher.
Okay.
And she is a preschool teacher.
Yes, Miss Teresa Hemmans is a preschool teacher.
And she mentioned that they were moving into technology. And she said, do you think you could take this back home and see if you can find someone who would be willing to donate? So Nicole and I are both members of Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce in Houston, Texas. And so I took that opportunity to send it out to our chamber members and to some other individuals. And Nicole graciously stepped up immediately. I was quite shocked, actually, how quickly she stepped up and said, I thought we were going to get multiple people to try to donate them all. She stepped up and said, I'll do it all. And so I thought that was very commendable. And so that's kind of how it came about.
Wow.
So, Nicole, tell us that story.
Well, I have visited Belize with Tri-County Regional Black Chamber of Commerce several times, and I have witnessed the eagerness of the children in Belize to learn. And when I received the request, I felt compelled and blessed to be able to help bring technology. To them.
Okay, I would think that.
Do you have an education background, or is that a part of the impetus?
No. How you are. I would think that because when I hear the why, and then again donations, it's normally that we have folks from the diaspora or Belizean Americans who would make that donations. None of you guys are Belizeans, are you?
No.
None of you guys.
No,
wow.
Yeah. So this is very interesting. I want to step back for a bit. So Deanna, tell us about the preschool itself, because you guys have a dynamic program going on there too that I think a lot of people don't know.
Yes. So good morning. Thanks for having us. We pride ourselves in having one of the largest preschools in our country. We house anywhere between 200 to 230 children at any given point. For this year, our aim is 200. We carry 4-year-olds and 3-year-olds, so first level and second level. And we've just done some nice renovating of our preschool, so it looks spanking new. So this is a perfect timing for this. We are inspected by Ministry of Education. The preschool unit inspects us, and at the end of the last school year, Ms. Jones, who was then our preschool inspector, said, Deanna, I think you all be the perfect school to debut tablets. Do you think you could pull it off? I'm like, give me some time. So I spoke to the preschool teachers, told them about it, and Tricia said, I think maybe I can help. And so which is wonderful, because all of us at Y have to pull our weight to make Y do what it does. And so that was what started the ball rolling. But we have a really vibrant preschool. All year long there's something going on. It is really a beautiful part of our Y.W.C.A. So we have an early childhood unit, I should say, or center, because we have daycare as well, and preschool. And children from preschool go up to daycare, and then some come to daycare, then they come down to preschool. Then of course we have our babies who don't, we're priming them.
Future students.
But
now it's interesting because at a time where people are trying to say, let's get the kids away from the tablet, we're talking about introducing them at preschool. What's the concept behind this?
Well, we're in a technological age. The children will use tablet. They're born programmed for smartphones and tablets. We wonder, what's going on. And we realize it's a really, really, really effective tool. So in the classroom, it will be controlled. The apps that will be downloaded, we'll do that in collaboration with the ministry to ensure that we have what is ministry sanctioned, and so we're in the process of doing that. But if you really do any research, you realize tablet, if monitored, is really an excellent tool. For example, if you're a child who doesn't speak English very well, so if you're any of the part of the migrant population to Belize, you speak Spanish, you speak an Asian language, you come to a preschool, a tablet is perfect. You, especially if the ones that you touch on sound, so you see the visual, you hear the song, it helps you with your language. If a teacher is teaching a topic, let's say teaching polar bear, we don't have polar bears in Belize, so you won't see one in its natural setting, but I can read you a story, I can talk about it, I can show a picture, and I can go on the tablet and you can see them in their natural, you can learn other things about them, where they are and all of that. So it really can enhance. And then I think absolutely important for the tablet as well, if you're a child who is differently abled and you can't pick up blocks with your hand, for an example, you can go on a tablet and you can do block building with your fingers.
There on the tablet.
So if your motor skills, you're not able to hone your motor skills the way a child and another child can, you can do it on the tablet. So I think it's wide open what a tablet can do for a preschool.
It's embracing technology for the good that it offers.
Yes.
And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because there's just a balance that has to be struck. And let me hear from your end now. When you reach out to the chamber members, what's your pitch?
Well, I went to them and said that we have someone who's interested in a donation, but Deanna actually sent a very compelling letter that made it very easy for me. Made it very easy for me, and so I just basically sent her letter out to everyone, and it got a lot of feedback. A lot of feedback, and people that are very interested in seeing this come to fruition, because it is very exciting. It's a very exciting thing for preschoolers to have an opportunity to use technology balanced, as you mentioned. So it was very easy, but it went off. I mean, it really went off, and I was excited about it.
How many tablets are we talking about?
We've gotten a donation for 40 tablets.
Okay.
So we didn't think it necessary for every child to have a tablet. So we have a 3-year-old section, a 4-year-old section. So they will alternate. 1 week would be, so we have a schedule we'll use, but it's 40. None of our class is bigger than 25 or 30. So we will have sufficient. And if any breaks or anything, we have a few extra or anything. But so it should work really well. But I mean, we are really, really very gracious. And thank you, Ms. Nicole and Ms. Sherri, because really and truly, literally the quickness at which we got a response. I kind of logged in getting my letter out. I mean, there's just so much going on. And by the time I got my letter out, I'm like, Lord, I know I'm late. But the quickness at which everything started flowing, I mean, we're really so thankful.
Ms. Nicole, what are your thoughts right now? What are you feeling? I mean, you know, you guys are actually making a donation to change lives in our country. We know for a fact that people might sit a child in front of a tablet, and that child or that tablet becomes a babysitter. Now they're in a position to learn. How do you feel at this point?
Well, I feel really good that I was able to help with that, because I know it is a lot of things that's done bad with tablets, but being that it was coming from the Y, I knew they would be doing the right thing to help the children learn. And we are in a technology age now. So I'm just thankful that I was able to help.
What about this story that Sherri passed on to you touched you the most?
Let's hear about it.
Well, I am a member of the Y in Houston. So when I received it, I was like, okay, well, you know, I'm doing something in the Houston community with the Y, so I would love to help out the Y in Belize, being that I visited here a lot, and I am also creating a business here.
Oh, wow. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So is there anything that you guys do at the Y in Houston that you see for potential, besides tablet and trying to roll out education? Is there anything in Houston, and I'm saying this from the standpoint of having to look in the future, because that's where we need to go. Is there anything there that you guys do that you'd like to roll here and like to get on stream as quick as possible in Belize?
Well, I really can't think of anything because I don't know all that the Y does here versus there. So I know we do have a summer camp for when the kids are out. I don't know if the Y has that here. And we also have meal programs for the children when they're out for the summer.
They have them here.
Okay. They're pretty much doing the same things.
No, but it is really fantastic to know that we get the kind of support that we do, and it's good to know that you are a member of a Y, so that helps to link us even more and better in a better way. But the Y.W.C.A is very credible. You know, the reputation precedes the name. You know, so it's really, really good to see how willing people are to support the Y, and the work that we do is really service to our community. Empowering women and children. And a lot of people think, when they think Y, they think swimming, because we're big on swimming.
Yes.
And they would think preschool, but they don't realize the magnitude of what we really, the operation that we carry on at the Y.W.C.A. You know, so we are really grateful that our community still supports us.
Definitely. I could brag about it because I've got 3 daughters. My first one, who is studying engineering as we speak, is a student or a past student of the Y's preschool.
There we go.
The second one is attending St. Joseph. I'm bragging here. I'm sorry. She was a past student of the Y as well. So in terms of why we've got and of course the baby one, she'll be going there too. Just the same. Because there are a lot of things that the Y does, and I think that the vibrancy of the staff of the Y gives you guys the opportunity to see far and wide. For this school year, what's going on that will be new, if there is anything besides the tablets?
So we realized that yes, preschool, yes, daycare, but we also realized we have a capacity control. So for daycare, we can only have 30 children. There are lots of children who after school, they have nowhere to go. So this year we're offering our after school services. It's not daycare. It's if you need somewhere for your children to come to do homework, if you're interested in them learning swimming as an extracurricular activity, or just being engaged until you get out of work, then we're doing that. So that's new for the Y for this year.
That's such a critical program.
And after serve, it's not daycare. It's after service. You know, and I'm stressing this because I know daycare and preschool comes with lots of restrictions. Not that we don't have to be monitored and regulated, but it really is to some degree a bit limiting. And we want it to be where children can come and do homework. We're also, it's something we've done in the past, tutoring for 4 and 5-year-olds. We're not going to touch, not 4 and 5-year-olds, standard 4 and standard 5. We're not going to touch standard 6 because most schools offer PSC classes.
Enough extra classes.
Exactly. So we're saying, let us help you in a standard 4 and standard 5. So by the time you reach standard 6, you've been reinforced your English and math. Those seem to be the 2 areas where we, particularly the math, where we struggle when it comes to PSC. So there's that we're offering. And for the first time, we're offering ESL. English is a second language for youth. So if you're a young person in Belize, you can't speak English well, you're going to school, you can't fit into our adult skills because that's 18 and over, but we're offering an ESL course for the youth.
Excellent.
So we have to find things that are needed and relevant and try to move away from the things that are not working anymore. And so we're constantly in a dynamic, well, the Y.W.C.A is dynamic. So there's constant change happening, but you know, paying attention to what's happening within our community.
Beautiful.
And I think one of the things too, perhaps that hasn't been connected as yet, is that your daycare program is also a part of your sustainability for the Y itself in Belize. And you have other programs that rely, and you have to pay teachers and all these other things. And the more you are unique in what you're offering, and having technology in the classroom at preschool level definitely is, with a ministry sanctioned program nonetheless. You know, I think that, and I wanted to hear from you ladies, have you visited the Y and what your impression has been?
I have an opportunity to visit probably a couple of years ago. I visited Trisha's classroom. My daughter was here performing a couple of years ago, and we just kind of went by, and I was amazed. I mean, literally amazed. And I was just sitting in awe at watching the children interact and how engaged the staff, the teachers were with the children. I was amazed. I know at home we see our children in class, but it's almost as if it's a chore. You know, I hate to say it, but just to see the children, they were actually enjoying being in that setting. It was amazing to me. So I have had an opportunity to visit the campus, and I'm looking forward to visiting today. We're going to go by and visit today, and I'm just really excited. You mentioned something earlier that we were talking about last night about your daughters and how they're a product of the Y and how they've gone on to do wonderful things. And that is exactly what we were talking about last night over dinner. We were talking. I was asking Nicole. I said, "Do you understand the magnitude of what you have done?" I know it. Well, I don't know, but I know it may seem as if it's not significant, but if we are able to touch one life, and that child go on to do wonderful things as your daughter does, you've done exactly what you were supposed to do. So,
Excellent.
If I could just tag on to that, we were also talking amongst our staff at Y, saying, you know, we need to call out to the people who got their foundation at the Y. Let us see where they've gone. We need to tell stories. So we've been producing, and we've been working with lots of children and lots of people coming out of the Y, but where are they now? We need to call them and say, come to the Y, come back for a day, and let us show off, you know, the foundation and where you got your foundation.
And then while I think it's a very important step that what you guys are talking about as we speak, which leads me to ask you, we know that there is also the program of putting the older students in various businesses to do that office practice and so on. What are the successes for this year? What have we seen for this year? And I think those are the people who we'd like to follow as well, because from the Y, you see success, and it's there. You know, it's rampant, it's in abundance. So what are we seeing so far in terms of putting people in places to fit and to work?
So we don't really have much to say about this cohort that just graduated. Remember, they really just graduated in June. So there's still such a, but what we want to do at the Y, and that's what I'm working desperate to try and get the funding for, is to take our training to another level. So you come, you train, you take your 2 years, and then you enter what we call, I call it a quasi-incubator. So you come and you learn, so you become like an apprentice almost after that, but so we do cosmetology, sewing, food prep. So you come now, we're going to have a salon, we're working on getting that set up, we're looking for funds to do it. And so after you've trained and learned cosmetology, you will then come and work. And so you work, you earn some funds, you build your clientele, and then you go out into the workplace. Because I don't think the 2 years of training is sufficient for them to be fully ready to work. And then some of them are young. Remember, some of them come out of the Y 16, 15, shy. So we want to help them build their confidence and their skills at the Y. Same thing for food prep. We're going to bring back our snack shop. It won't be called a snack shop anymore, but it'll be an outlet where the girls or the adults who come through our Y can bring back their product. We'll brand it and sell it through our outlet. So we're looking to take you another notch up, where we're helping you to become more market ready and to help to build your customers and clientele through the Y. You know, so
touching minds, right? Did you guys know that there is a good Johnny Cake mix at the Y?
Oh gosh.
Oh really?
Yes.
Oh my goodness! Wow, my wife with it. She didn't know.
Really?
It's like, oh my goodness, my husband made me Johnny Cake.
Add water and bake.
Add water and bake. It's milk and bake, and coconut milk, and you bake, and it's about 12 minutes, and that's it.
Quick thing. Yeah, you'll get your
Producer
Let me just ruin the surprise here. They'll need extra to pay that. So, you know, I think a lot of what we've talked about is just kind of looking at where oftentimes people respond to a need and they don't know the larger implications it can have. And Nicole, I know clearly you're very shy about this. Most people who donate don't necessarily want to hear, so I think Sherri did some arm twisting to get you here. Just a little bit. And you know, if you had the opportunity perhaps to meet with one of these kids, you know, I think that there's a message, an underlying message here about being able to give back as well. What would you say to them?
I would just like them to pay it forward. As I did, you know, I was able to give back to them. Hopefully one day they will also be able to give back.
With the foundation set. And there you have it. This is what the tablet looks like.
Yes, so it's easy.
Yeah.
Snap, hook me up here, hook me up, sir.
Yeah.
They're brand new, they're Novas. Oh my, Novas actually, and they're sleek. That much I could tell you.
I can only imagine
With the colors
how
that you
excited
like.
these babies are gonna
Yeah.
They don't know yet.
be. Yeah.
You don't know it, right? But
You need to use
check
it on the
that out.
first day so you could cut down the crying. Or first day of school, right? It's not gonna help mom and dad's crying, but the kids crying.
Yep, and it goes directly to Google, and you ask Google, how do you make a baby stop crying? So that's easy. But so they're in various colors too.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so this one is a blue actually.
blue.
This one is a
Yeah.
blue.
Excellent.
So there's
And,
blue, there's pink,
And red.
there's red.
Oh my
And they've
gosh.
come with cases, the chargers, of course,
Yeah.
and headphones.
Protector, stylus, I see everything in here. It's fully equipped, and you'll
Yeah.
get your programs from the Ministry
Ministry.
of Education.
Yes.
Your handing over takes place today, right?
Yes.
All right. Well,
Okay.
we're glad
There
that
you
you
go.
stopped in to tell us all about it. Thank you for coming in and
Thank
sharing
you,
your
thank you.
stories.
Thank you for having
And
us.
let's just hope that it's a relationship that continues to grow.
That's what that's my hope.
All right.
That's my hope.
All right.
We're going to
so
go
there you
ahead and take a break, and we'll be back in a few. Please stay tuned.